Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by Arrowhead Mountain Spring Water. I'm Allie Clifton, James Worthy, Derek Fisher. We got Mike Bresnan and Mike Trudell downtown handling the locker room responsibilities. Guys, Lakers dropped their second game in a row in pretty disappointing fashion. 31-point loss, the most points they've given up on this season, 146-115. Chicago comes into L.A. and gets the job done. Look, I know the Lakers haven't been fully healthy for a while now, but no excuses. Tonight, they were healthy. I think the mind-boggling thing about this one, this was a tied ball game with 1:30 to go in the first half at 59 all. But outside of Luka and AR, guys who combined for 59 points, LeBron adding 17 after missing his last 7 games, Chicago got anything and everything they wanted. You look at the stats on the stat sheet, you can point to anything. Plus 28 in the paint, plus 18 on the fast break. LA 21 turnovers for 27 Chicago points. And big game, Kobe White continued his strong stretch. 28 over his last 10. He had 36 tonight.
Yeah, they caught a team on fire, and a team that's, still trying to get into the playoffs. And I think the letdown probably was subconscious one, was getting everybody back. Mm-hmm. You know, after having everybody out, then getting LeBron back, and, you got Luka, you got everybody back. It's an automatic letdown subconsciously if you don't catch yourself. And that's what I saw, because this is not what I've been seeing, especially on the defensive end of late, a team that just came in and set the pace early, led by Kobe White, Giddey even more aggressive. This is one I just hope they can just throw away. Don't focus on it too much, but I think having everybody back, you probably thought this was a guaranteed win. And when you do that, these NBA players are good, and they came in and did what they're supposed to do. They should have been aware of what they did to Sacramento, even though Sacramento's not the same team. You got to be aware of a team that's coming in hot and ready to play.
Yeah, no, I agree with Big Game. This is one of those nights where the Bulls have been playing good basketball, so they're a confident young team coming in, playing with house money, nothing to lose, not as much at risk in the standings. I don't think they're going to be able to work their way up very much, and they're not dropping out. Mm-hmm. So they're just playing night on, night in and night out to be consistent. For the Lakers, it is very difficult to explain how you it's like if you're going upstairs after being out of town, and you know how you have to carry 4 pieces of luggage upstairs by yourself, and one suitcase is hitting you in the knee and the other one in the shin, and you're struggling, but you're using all of your strength to get them up there. And then all of a sudden somebody shows up and you only got to carry 1 bag up tonight. Mm-hmm. And you just, okay, that's a little easier. And you just kind of relax a little because you only have 1 suitcase to carry. And I think a lot of guys for the Lakers tonight, with everybody back in the lineup, they only brought enough strength to carry 1 suitcase tonight. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden the game started, and the Bulls needed you to bring 4 suitcases of strength to the game because of how well they played. And it just caught the Lakers off guard. Before they could even realize what was coming at them, they saw the ball go in the basket. They weren't missing. Their confidence was too high, and it was just too late for the Lakers to get a hold of the game by the third quarter.
What kind of suitcase are we talking? More of like a carry-on?
The Lakers we're talking about, we're talking about the LV, no wheels on it.
We put brand names on it now.
We're talking about the big suitcases that take a lot of work to carry up the stairs.
We needed those details.
Yeah.
I do want to come back to you on this, and then I know you can shed some light too, Big Game Fish, because as we're sitting here, even though I said disappointing, I think that's tied more so to the overall big picture expectations, because as you mentioned, Chicago and the Lakers going in 2 different directions when it comes to the end of the season. Also, you look at different numbers for LA. Where they are right now at the top, near the top of the Western Conference, obviously. They're 23-11 coming into tonight versus teams that are below 500. They've shown that they're capable in moments like this. We've seen how great they've been defensively, how well they shoot the basketball. And you sat here and said, let's not blow this one out of proportion.
Yeah, no.
Keep it into perspective.
Yeah, 82-game season. There are going to be nights like this one. Maybe not 146 points, but just not being at your best. Mm-hmm. And, again, you think about the role players for the Lakers that have really stepped up as of late, even to Jordan Goodwin and the role that he's played. much less of an opportunity tonight with everyone back. Rui Hachimura rejoining the lineup. Okay, well, what does that mean for Jared Vanderbilt? Dalton Connect completely out of the rotation tonight. So there are things like when all of these guys come back, some of the chemistry, the connection of each player, it gets disconnected a little bit. Because now I'm not as sure of what my role is tonight. I'm going to play less. I may not even play at all. And so instead of that kind of like one team, one mind, everybody together, it just gets a little disjointed in this first night back with all the guys in the lineup. They will be much better on this road trip than they were tonight.
And I imagine that's why, though there can be lessons in losses big game, this is one that you're not going to sit on too long, as you mentioned.
Not this one, because I give them a lot of credit for where they brought themselves from to get to where they are. Now, if they have another game like this, then you don't want to create that kind of habit. But Fish is right. I mean, I can recall, 2 or 3 games out of 82 where you just stink it up. And, it's not because you're not playing hard. It's because you got Kareem over here, you got Magic, and you got Coop, Byron, and then, you don't do your part. And then it turns out that they're thinking the same thing. Yeah. So, so you have those nice, but we'll see how they snap back. They've played well. Defense has been pretty good. They've risen to up in the standings. So you hate for it to happen, but I'm not going to dwell on this one too much. Chicago was good with Kobe White, man.
They were good.
JJ's going to dwell on this.
Oh yeah. He'll lose some sleep a little bit.
Yeah, he's pissed about this one.
Yeah.
He's just not going to feel like, even with everybody back, they just did not compete at the level he's expected them to compete at night in and night out.
That's a sign of someone who wants to lead a team to actually do something come the postseason. And a Laker fan, you want to hear that and you want to know that. I do want to give Kobe White and the Bulls a little bit of love here before we go to the highlight, because as we mentioned, it was just a 3-point game at the half. But Chicago came into that second half, guys, 81-53. Versus LA, just took advantage, and it was once a Tar Heel, always a Tar Heel. They're 6-2 over their last 8 games, but Kobe White specifically, his last 10, 28-5-4 tonight, big game, 36 points, 6 of 9 from deep, shot at 12 of, just missed 5 shots.
Yeah, dropped 35 against the Sacramento Kings, and comes in here and drops 36 the same way. A much improved player for Chicago. They depend on him more offensively, and I remember him at North Carolina. This guy had talent. And he's really improved his game, man. He's got confidence now inside and going to the cup. He's very, very tricky how he can get to the cup and make some acrobatic shots. So, yeah, he's a leader, too, on this team. So I was impressed with Kobe's game. You're
really doing something well when really the MVP of the team all season is Nikola Vucevic. But it was fine. 12-12, not a bad night for him, but Kobe White led the way.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of points that the Chicago Bulls scored in transition, I mean, for a big, you're not going to be the guy leading the team in scoring on a night where so many points are coming in fast breaks. I mean, 30 fast break points tonight.
So keep it open, JJ. What was the thing you thought stood out the most tonight?
Well, our defense. I mean, you give up 50-some, whatever it was, 44 points in the paint. Our turnovers killed us all night, which led to them getting shots in transition. Thought we did a poor job contesting. I mean, again, they were 5 for 22 at the half from 3, and I think they were 14 for, my math is not good right now, but 14 for 19 in the second half. And Buzelis hit a bunch of those, and you're willing to live with a couple, and then we turned off some of the shift notices, and then the contests weren't great. You can certainly get into the technicality of it, and you can certainly get into the turnovers for us offensively and how that kind of destroyed our rhythm. But the disposition and the mentality, I don't know if we assumed because we had everybody back that it was just going to be like it was 3 weeks ago, and that's just not the way this works. I think the guys know that, and I'm not saying that's what they assumed. You'll have to ask them that. The thing that we have talked about all season long, though, is grace, and so the group inherently gets some grace for what this last 3 weeks has looked like, and it's not an excuse. It's just the nature of where a group felt very connected, and then you lose some games on the road, you have some injuries, all that stuff, you got to get reconnected, and that's where our group will get there. We, however, don't have a lot of time to do that, and it's got to be now. It can't be in a week. It can't be in 2 weeks. It's got to be now. It's got to be Monday morning in our film session and our walkthrough for Orlando. So again, I give the group. I love my team. I love those guys. That was the worst our defense has looked, frankly, maybe all year, but certainly in the last 3 months.
To follow up on one of the things you said with LeBron, Ruby coming back, do you think there can be a collective almost, okay, that this is going to be good now, this is going to be settled, and maybe you lose some of that, not the edge, but just that, is that natural? Can you feel that once the game starts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the word that we've used a lot, is edge, and you gotta play with an edge. And I told them this just now, and I don't think this is like a secret, so I'm comfortable sharing this. But our success this season since January has been based on our defensive disposition and our ability to defend as a team, and our individual pride on the ball, and our individual pride in doing your job with whatever it may require, a low man, a box out, a gang rebound, whatever it may require. That's going to determine our success for the next 3 weeks, and that's going to determine our success if we are able to secure a postseason berth.
With Rui missing almost 4 weeks and LeBron missing 2, whenever they got back, and you acknowledged that there just wasn't any
both
space.
those guys were out of rhythm and out of sorts.
Right, so you knew whenever that was going to happen, like there'd probably be some adjustment period. Is it better to almost have it happen, and obviously you should have your team's attention now after, everyone should recognize, like, we're kind of building from ground zero here, and
I think that's a good way to look at it. The ground zero part. I think you have to, again, use the reference points that we've had, but then you have to, this next 12 games, you got to refine your way. It's a perpetually flowing river that we've all of a sudden run into a beaver's work. We've run into a beaver's work, and we're to get the water flowing again.
The Lakers and Magic on Monday.
Dives with authority, so nice drop dime from Austin Reeves, and a hell of a finish.
He's getting it from everywhere. Austin finished with 25 points on 13 shots. Let's go inside the locker room. He's with Press.
Austin, got to start with the obvious, giving up 146 points tonight. What did you see out there?
Their basketball is going in the rim a lot. That's about all I got for you.
What was the talk of the locker room afterwards?
Be better. Everybody in the locker room, none of us had the right energy from the get-go, so got to find a way to be better.
12 games left. You have pretty much your entire 12 games left. You have pretty much your entire roster healthy, but you are coming off one of the worst losses of the season. So kind of what's the view between now and the start of the playoffs?
Played much better than we did tonight. We know when we played, the way we're supposed to, we have a chance to beat anybody. But we're still, we haven't played that many games as a full unit, so we still got to learn the chemistry, timing of everything. So it should be fun.
What balance, if there even is a balance, do you think this team can strike between being patient with itself and giving itself grace as you guys work through these kinks versus the realization of there are only 12 regular season games left, and to give you guys that time to build that chemistry or continuity?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is we have 12 games left till the playoffs, and it's not like we can add a couple games to continue to try to, piece all of that together. So we got to figure it out in a quick span of time to when the playoffs is here to hit the ground running. So You know, I believe we can do it. We've shown in instances where we have done it. Just got to, you know, continue plugging at it.
Are there ways that, I mean, you're probably not going to practice a lot, maybe not as many sure on. I know you guys have, but there are ways you guys can fast track that, considering there are only so many games and not a lot of practice time.
Talk to one another. That's really, you know, we can watch as much film as we want to watch to help that way. But I think communication amongst, you know, everybody on the team, coaching staff is going to play a big role in that. Like you said, we're not going to be on court practicing that much with 12 games left. So we had to communicate. If it's, you know, on flights, talking about, you know, what we can do to be better, that's what it'll be. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk a little Austin, guys. I will say it's nice to hear him kind of just echo what you guys were saying. No panic inside the locker room. Just need to be better, as he says it with a smile on his face. But tonight, big game, another efficient night for him. 25, 9 of 13, 3 of 7 from deep. And as you like to remind us, shot a 67 last week. So all is well for Austin.
We can talk about the 67.
He shot a 67.
67 last week on the golf course. I think he said he missed 2 like 5-footers for birdies, but he can play golf. We'll talk about the golf game tonight because this game, there's nothing impressive about anything that they did. But, you know, Austin's been consistent. You know, in lieu of Luka and LeBron, this kid has remained consistent. He's gotten way better, very confident. A lot of talk about him being maybe the best third wheel in the NBA. We don't talk about that. We just talk about how hard he works and how consistent he is, undrafted. All of a sudden, he gets to play on the USA team. Just a bunch of confidence, and just like to see the way he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, Austin. I was listening to a couple of podcasts and different interviews, and it's easy to see why like we all gravitate towards Austin and wanting him to do well and seeing him be successful out there. Because he's all about just winning and doing things the right way. So when you give off that type of energy, when you pour into your team and your teammates and you're not really doing it for your own satisfaction and glory, it's really about winning and something bigger than you, most of the time this is what comes back. And so Austin's ability to be efficient like this tonight, I know he talked recently about, I think he's shooting 44, 45% this season. Still using force to get to the front of the rim. So in terms of that part, a lot of good signs tonight.
Great sign. 17 points in 31 minutes for LBJ. He's speaking with Brez in the locker room.
LeBron, first game back for you in a couple weeks. How'd you feel out there tonight?
A little rusty, but I was happy to get back out there.
You guys have been playing pretty good defense the last couple months at least. What changed tonight?
We didn't play good defense. We gave them points in the paint, we gave them fast break points, and we gave them threes. So, we can't give everything for sure.
What's the best way to approach this as a group? The spot you're in, you guys got pretty much everybody back, but obviously coming off a rough loss, and there's still 12 big games remaining before the playoffs.
For sure. Every game is huge for sure, and we got to recoup. Obviously, our last road trip we didn't play well at all. We went 0-4, so it's definitely in the back of our minds. We know starting on Monday we got to play better basketball than we did tonight and what we did on our last road trip.
Do you feel confident that the groin injury is behind you?
I just take day by day. I can't worry about what's could happen in the future. But I got through the day. I'm obviously get some work on it tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit on the plane. It's a long flight to Orlando, and then once we get to Orlando and get ready for Monday. So it's I hope it's behind, but I don't want to look too far in the future.
LeBron, pregame, one of the things JJ told us was that culture in the locker room is the type of thing that needs to be constantly rewatered. Mm-hmm. You guys have built a culture based on toughness and defense and physicality. That wasn't there tonight. What does it take to rewater that?
It happens from time to time. Obviously, we got to do a better job, and we see these guys next week. So we should be well equipped to what they bring to the table and the speed and the flow that they play with. So we just got to regroup and be better, a lot better on Monday for sure.
Kind of along those lines, you always talk about not getting too high or too low, and JJ just mentioned, you know, the team having grace for one another. What do you say to guys so that they can find that grace or maintain that grace?
You know, for sure. Obviously, we can't take for granted the moments we get out there and be able to play the game that we love and play it at a high level. So just holding each other accountable, pouring into the team, pouring energy into the team. So that's what's most important. And like you said, we got 12 games to position ourselves, you know, in the postseason. We pretty much can control our own destiny if we win ball games and not have to be in the play-in. So that's what JJ's been preaching. Obviously, I think he told that to you guys. He want to be in the playoffs and not the play-in. So, you know, that's up to us.
Well, what did the group show you while you were out, and to what extent can any of that apply to future games?
I mean, we have I don't know if it was something they showed me or didn't show me. I already know what this team is capable of. No matter who's been in the lineup, who's been out of the lineup, we've been able to sustain our effort and try to, you know, continue to play the right way, both offensively and defensively. So, you know, it was great to see, even through the adversity, even through some of the, you know, the injuries and the schedule, however it presented itself, we were still able to win ball games.
Since we spoke to you in Boston, there was another pretty big round of media scrutiny about Bronny, and he went out and played his best game as a pro on Thursday. What have the conversations been with him through this kind of the past few weeks, and what did you kind of make of the way he was able to play against the Bucks?
Conversations this past few weeks, as far as what?
Just about, like, I mean, I guess this another batch of scrutiny. I mean, do you even need to talk about it, or has he been dealing with it for so long?
Yeah, he's grew up in it, so it's nothing new to him. You know, he's, you know, I think you saw the article that came out that he did, that he wanted to do and express his feelings about everything, but you know, the kid is focused and he locks in on his craft. Like he said, he hears everything and he uses it as motivation. And I mean, but he's here for a reason, and he showed that the other night.
Do you see him playing with more confidence?
I've seen he's gotten better from the moment he made his first game back after the incident with USC to the moment the other night when he stepped on the floor. He's gotten better and better and better. And I think his confidence has gotten better. The work that he's putting in, you know, he's starting to feel it once again before he had the incident. So it was great to see him in his groove the other day.
Thanks, LJ.
I appreciate it.
Good stuff there. Pop's talking about Son from the other night, Bronny with his career night. But for him tonight, big game, as we know, dealing with that groin injury, missed the last 31 minutes outside of just the numbers in general. Good to see him back in the rotation.
He's back on the court, running, getting up and down the court, you know, getting some reps in, getting refamiliarizing himself with, you know, some of the guys on the floor. And you like to see that, you know, didn't sustain any like nagging, you know, a little pain. So yeah, one down, get back on track with the rest of the team. Like you said, no defense. LeBron's really good at figuring it out, and he will.
Yeah, I mean, with LeBron, you can't go through, I mean, I've never seen it in person, but you can't go through what he goes through to prepare himself to play and then try to cut it off by limiting the minutes. Right?
Is that what's going on? That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if he goes through all the effort it takes in year 22 at 40 years old to, like, be ready to help you win tonight, to try to play 20 minutes but stay warm enough to be able to go out and impact the game at the high level, that's difficult. So, I mean, we saw how the minutes restriction thing went last year. Like, that's.
I was just going to say, that's why you don't put a restriction on him.
Nah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Well, the positive is that he came back and he played 31. And as you guys both mentioned, nothing nagging coming out of this one. To the not so positive. Your first game back in studio after a while, I shall say. And your reward is to break down not great defense.
Sorry, Fish.
Yeah, I know.
Fish is focused.
I know, man. I hate that the Lakers got beat up a little bit tonight. But it happens, and so we'll focus on it temporarily. They'll change it on the road trip next week. But in the pregame, we show great rotation, energy defensively. Here, not as much. Hands are down. Buzelis is not necessarily a high percentage three-point shooter, so you see Gabe closing out, hands down, a little bit late. Buzelis confident there. Again, moving the ball. Switch here, so Vucevic takes Doncic down. LeBron sees I got a big over on Luka. Let me try to kick him out. Again, Patrick Williams, not a high percentage three-point shooter. DFS is not going to be too quick to leave Kobe White. Again, just wide open. I mean, these are summertime, in the gym by yourself threes that NBA players were able to take tonight. And so, again, just not that sense of urgency and sharpness on the defensive end. This will be something they look at, but quickly move on. And that Orlando team will be fired up and ready to